Well, I see by the... Oh, what's that? Oh,
We're on.
Oh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Joy Boys program.
Very good.
Thank you. I have a new writer in the bullpen. She wasn't Ben-Hur great last night?
Beautiful motion picture. We certainly did enjoy it.
Saw Ben-Hur last night, Eddie Gallagher, and all the older fellas over there at the Water Theater last night.
You guys better not go on the air yet. We got a
What do you mean, Arthur? What's the matter?
Well, one of the turntables is acting up. I think it's all tired out from the Al Ross show and the
Glad
Louis
something's
Scott
acting
show.
up around here, because we sure are.
Just hang on a minute. I'll have it fixed up in a jiffy.
What's wrong with the turntable?
Your neighbor man in action is working diligently.
Okay, but what's the trouble with the turntable?
I think the belt has slipped off of the drive shaft connecting the carburetor to the fan belt.
That means absolutely nothing to me. What does that mean to the layman?
Huh? It's broke.
Oh.
There we go. Now, let's get that
It's
on
a
there.
little turntable. Does it take all that noise in there to...
Not for most guys, but for me, yes. There we go. I think that just about did it there.
Okay, Arthur, play the theme.
Put the theme on. Like new. Come on, what's the matter?
Arthur,
I get it right.
Arthur, you're getting all riled
I
up.
can't help it.
Arthur.
Want to go out and get a harmonica player for the rest of the show?
We can do without it. We'll operate on one turntable today.
Yeah,
We
we've
don't
been
need all that.
operating with no talent for years. So
The arm
Out of the
just...
motor just fell out there.
this is the Joy Boy Show, believe it or not, for Tuesday evening.
Yep.
This is Ed Walker here.
Willard Scott here, ladies. That's Bobby Shenton, our recording
You
engineer.
know me by now.
That's Arthur Page, our wrecker extraordinaire.
Record.
A record player extraordinaire. Coming up on our program this evening, this is Tuesday, March 15th, the Ides of March, so beware. We have many tricks up our sleeve.
The Ides of March, they are upon
That's
you.
not the same
Oh.
song. Coming up on our program, we're going to interview an actor who had a very important role in the motion picture Ben-Hur. He's going to be an on-the-spot interview for us. Then coming up on our program, Betty Crockett will show you how to make Irish stew today.
Hey, very nice.
In observance of St. Patrick's Day Thursday. And finally, an exciting new NBC radio dramatic series in answer to many requests for more variety in the sound of the 60s. What do we call this,
We
Edward?
call this the Uncontrollables.
Saga of the roaring 20s when gambling and bootlegging and all sorts of hijacking was very popular.
Hi.
Hijacking, how are you? We have an award, don't we, Edward?
Yes, I'm very happy to announce that the Washington, D.C. Launderers Association has voted this program the wettest blanket in radio.
Hey,
Oh, boy.
What car hits the bullseye in Washington? New Dodge Dart. Priced with the lowest right now at your nearest Dodge dealer. Drive it today.
All right, gentlemen.
Ladies and
prepare
gentlemen,
to
our
shoot the
janitor
next scene now.
microphone
We're
is
going to
here
take it
on
for a
the
take.
shooting
Right,
location
right,
set
right.
of the famous motion picture Ben-Hur.
The lights,
Now making
the lights
its
are
premiere
in.
all over the
You
country.
adjust the lights,
It's our
please.
pleasure to be able to
Right.
talk to some of the stars
Thank
of this
you.
motion picture.
Fine.
The producer-director, Mr.
Wardrobe.
William Wildman,
Where's
is
the wardrobe department? We gotta
talking
get
on the
this stuff done
background.
here.
You probably hear him
Right.
talking to
Right.
some of the actors and
All right.
costumers.
Very
And
good. All
right
right.
now we have an
Take
actor
your
over
places
here,
for us.
Mr. Heston Carlton. Mr. Heston Carlton, welcome to our janitor microphone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Scott. It's a great pleasure for me to be with you and your audience.
Well, it's certainly a pleasure for us to be able to interview you. This motion picture, Ben-Hur, is now premiered in a couple of cities across the country and is making headlines and box office sellouts everywhere it opens up.
We're very pleased with the results of this fine motion picture, and we expect it'll have a long run.
With a name like
In all
Heston,
cities.
excuse me, sir. With a name like Heston Carlton, are you by any chance related to the...
No, I'm afraid not.
No.
I'm not.
Would you tell us a little bit, first of all, now we're now...
5 minutes, Mr. Carlton.
We are here in Italy where this picture is being filmed and has been filmed, of course, now. They're filming it again just to have a copy so that they can make sure the file is well taken care of.
That's right.
Would you tell us a little bit about the shooting? I imagine the script was quite difficult to memorize. It's a 4-hour movie and there's a lot of dialogue.
It's quite difficult. We do it a scene at a time, of course, and there are many retakes involved, and being out in location the way we are here in the desert for many of the scenes, we have no conveniences, no PX or commissary, as you call it.
Where do you get your food?
And, well, it's flown in. We have an airlift that brings food for the cast for a week.
What does the cast eat normally? What is the diet?
Diet usually consisting of garlic, bread, and wine.
Anything else?
No, that's all.
Well, okay, well, it's...
Would indigestion here.
Would you move over a little farther from the mic, please? I wasn't sure. I wasn't going to say anything since I'm being the interviewee on this program.
I'm the interviewee or the interviewer.
That's what I meant.
Our facts straight here before
You're fogging up my thinking here when you breathe like that on me. Mr. Heston Carlton, would you tell us a little bit about what you do in this motion picture?
Well, first of all, I'd like to let you know that I have had a large background in acting ever since I was a small child at the age of 2. I'm sure you want to know these facts. These are pertinent. I posed and won a contest for modeling for baby powder, and then at the preschool age, my teeth, look at them, they're still, there they are.
Your teeth are beautiful. I noticed you
Pearly
have
white teeth, and then
magnificent set of teeth.
In high school, of course, I modeled, and I was in many of the plays, all of the plays. I had the leading role.
Did you have any professional training?
And, well, after I got out of high school, of course, I went to the dramatist studio and studied acting, speech, and the various dialects. And
how about the Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga Playhouse in California?
Yes, I was there, too, for a period of about 2 years.
Is Ben-Hur your first big movie role?
My first role of any note, yes.
I understand from our notes that you are in the famous chariot scene, the most exciting scene in the whole motion picture.
That is correct, yes.
Which one of the chariots did you handle?
Well, I didn't handle one of the chariots.
Were you one of the Roman centurions in the scene with Pontius Pilate?
No, I was not.
Were you with the gladiators in the ring when they brought the horses out on the...
No, I'm afraid not.
Well, where were you in the scene?
Well, here in my pocket, you'll see I have a ticket stub here. Row D, Section H, Seat 25.
What did you do in this...
I was one of the many people who sat there and said, "Hooray! Hooray!" For the whole scene, I said hooray.
Well, Mr. Heston Carlton, it's...
I see that they're retaking the scene. I emphasize the who instead of the ray, so they have to take my part over. It's been
very
nice
good.
being with
Well, Mr. Heston Carlton, it's been a pleasure to talk with you. And now back to our janitor studio and... hooray! Just take it.
From the land of sky blue water.
Hams is here now, Hams is here now.
From the land of sky blue waters comes a call to flavor refreshing Hams beer. Hams is here now.
Ham's beer is here, refreshing as the land of sky blue waters, bringing you flavor crisp as a northern breeze, clean cut and cool as pine-scented air. You've never tasted a beer just like Ham's. Be sure to try it.
Capturing the frosty refreshment of this land of magic enchantment. Hams beer. Hams is here now. From the land of sky blue waters.
Hams is here now, Hams is here now.
Ham's beer is here, yours at local prices.
From the land of sky blue waters.
Theo Ham Brewing Company, Baltimore, Maryland.
Wait a minute, fellas.
Wait, what's the matter?
You got the wrong mic.
What do you mean the wrong mic?
Well, we have this mic over here is the one that's on.
for heaven's
We were doing a little work. We'll try the tag.
All right. Theo Ham Brewing Company, Baltimore. Why did you have to turn the wrong mic on? It's a simple show. Well, I see with the clock on the wall that it's about that time again, Edward.
All right, so we'll adjourn down the hall here of NBC to the door marked Experimental Kitchen. It's kind of a tough one to open. Let's all lean together here now.
I'll help you open it up. There we go.
And we welcome you to Betty Crockett's Experimental Kitchen. Each Tuesday evening at this time, URC Radio invites you to visit with our home economist, Miss Betty Crockett, queen of the kitchen range. Here she is, slaving over a hot stove as usual.
Look out, Betty.
Oh, doggone it. I slipped and fell right on the middle of a doggone sacroiliac. Hello,
That's
dear.
too bad. Hi, Betty. How are you? Fine. How are
Awful
you?
good to see you. Mm-hmm. Don't
Betty,
you
can
know?
I have one of them cookies?
Arthur, get your
Ow!
hands off Betty's old cookies.
All right.
Whoo-wee, this snow has been a bugging old Betty so bad, don't you know?
Supposed to have some more, too.
That's what I hear from
Yes.
Franklin, Franklin Forrester,
yeah.
the weatherman.
Well, I
I
noticed that
hope
you've got
so.
something boiling on the stove here.
Well, every old son of the sod knows that in just about another 2 days, don't you know, it's going to be St. Patrick's Day.
Ah,
Mhm.
Faith and Begorra. Yes, it will
Yes,
be.
they used to be a good team.
Who, Faith and Begorra?
Faith and
Yes,
Begorra.
indeed.
We got a wonderful recipe for all the girlies that
Good.
want to fix up a little something special for St. Patty's Day,
Well,
don't you
you
know?
have a little Irish in your family background there, don't you, Betty?
And I've got a little Irish, a little Scotch, and a little English.
Yeah,
and,
I see. Well, then you ought to be well qualified to make a recipe for St. Patrick's Day.
Well, I think so, and thank you kindly for
Sure.
mentioning
What,
it.
what have you planned here?
Hmm?
I say, what have you planned?
Well, I got a little recipe for the girls for St. Patrick's Day. My Uncle Horace over in Dublin sent me a gallon jug of Irish Confidence.
Oh, I see it over there.
It's
yes.
right over here.
On the
We'll
table
just
there.
show you what you can do with a little imagination. Now, I'll tell you what. First of all, you go on down to the store, don't you know, and get yourself a little stew beef.
Mm-hmm.
Just normal stew beef, and you stew it like you always do it, and you get it all ready and simmered good in the pot, and put a little chlorophyll in to make it green.
Chlorophyll to make it
Make it green so it'll look
I
good.
see. Do you put all the usual vegetables in there?
Oh, yes, sir, the onions and the taters and the peas and all the stuff.
Well, I notice you have something over here. It looks sort of like little shamrocks you have.
These are little
there.
chopped up shamrocks that give it a colorful look.
I see.
Then the precious ingredient, don't you know?
Your Irish confidence.
Take a little bit of this Irish Confidence and
I thought you said a little. Just a little. It's overflowing the kettle there, Betty. There you are.
well, now you figure you got yourself a real meal here.
I figure you've got a bad ratio there. You've drowned the...
1 pound of stew beef to 1 gallon of Irish Confidence, and that'll make the best Irish stewed you ever seen in your
I'm
life.
sure it will.
Well, so long,
Thank
girls.
you very
I'll see
much,
you next
Betty,
Saturday or
and have a
Monday
happy
here.
St. Patrick's Day, Betty.
Boy, this.
Okay.
Boy,
Betty,
that's
can I sample
pretty
a
good
little of that
stuff.
Irish?
Help yourself, Arthur. Who's slapping who? A little Irish stew.
Well,
is
that's it. Let's
good
get out of
for
here.
you.
So long.
Scooby-Doo.
It's fantastic. The luck of the Irish is yours Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the grand opening celebration of Hampshire Langley, corner New Hampshire Avenue and University Boulevard, Langley Park, Maryland.
Every time it rains for you and me.
WRC presents The Uncontrollables. And now here's your narrator for this evening's uncontrollable adventure, Walter.
During the 20s, ladies and gentlemen, America was the breeding ground of some of the most vicious, despicable criminals of all the world's history. And inside the cities of America, booze, bad liquor, bobbed-haired women, and some of the ugliest scar-faced men that ever roamed the earth control the underworld. Tonight's story, the story of Babyface Grayson, the meanest, most rotten, no-good, low-down, dirty crook that ever ruled in the underworld. The evening was October 22nd, 1927, in a speakeasy in downtown Chicago. The band was playing the same draggy Dixieland music. Babyface Grayson and 3 of his cronies were seated at a table.
Okay, guys, I called you here because we're pulling a big job next week, and I don't want no slip-ups. You understand?
Okay, baby.
Who asked you anything? Hate people that keep butting in. Now listen, next week we're gonna heist this big bank. Now then, I've got the whole joint cased. I want you all to realize that we're gonna take care of everything.
That's the way that Babyface Grayson operated. Anybody that got in his way, they got it with a get. Babyface Grayson was known to all the hoods and all the rogues and all the rascals in the underworld. Get the scene in his apartment when the boy is bringing back some clothes from the dry cleaners.
All right, come in, kid.
Hello, Mr. Grayson.
Yeah, what do you want, kid?
I got your laundry here, sir. Here's 2 new suits and a sport coat and some shirts, and everything's all together.
Hey, wait a minute. Just a minute, kid.
Yes, sir?
This shirt here.
Yes, sir. What's the matter with the
It's a
shirt?
button off of the cuff.
I don't do the work, sir.
Let's take care of him.
That's the way he operated. That's the way he worked. No one ever knew when this man was going to strike. That's the story. He was never caught. He is still loose somewhere today, roaming the streets. Perhaps a bitter, broken old man, no longer in his era. But that's the way that babyface Grayson worked. Now, here again is your announcer.
You've been listening to another thrilling episode of The Uncontrollables. Just a minute, friend. Who are you? I'm the announcer signing off this true detective mystery. Yeah, well, I don't like your style, kid. Well, at least they warned me he was still on the loose. I'm just a staff announcer doing my job. This is the NBC radio network. And here we are, once again, the Joy Boys. Time to talk about one of our favorite reading materials, the Washington Daily News.
You know, along with the recipe contest and the fascinating puzzle game, the Washington Daily News is offering a completely different contest, specially designed for travel enthusiasts.
That's me. I'm an enthusiastic traveler.
The Daily News travel section has an educational Guess Where contest now in progress.
Where?
Well, this fun contest will bring exciting things to the whole family. Junior can contribute geography.
Oh, boy, I'm good at that.
Dad's maps will come in handy.
Sure enough.
Mom's dreams of exotic countries.
I do have dreams of exotic countries.
All go together in helping your family with this contest. So be sure to get your copy of tomorrow's news and test your travel knowledge. You simply identify the place in the contest picture and tell one interesting fact about it on a postcard. So mail your postcard to Travel Editor, care of the Washington Daily News, Washington's modern newspaper, where you can speak person to person for profit. Person-to-person want ads give you one line for 6 days for a low $1.50.
You've been giving me the same line for weeks. I have noticed that about this show.
Person-to-person offered exclusively in the Washington Daily News.
If you'd lend me some money, I'd go out and buy a copy of the Daily News. I would very much like to take
Aren't you the
advantage.
same guy that played the part of Babyface Grayson on that drama?
Yeah, how'd you guess?
Well, gee, that was excellent.
Oh,
You
don't give me no lip now, buddy. I still got that submachine gun, you know.
Well, we've shot this program anyway, so I don't think you could do it any more harm.
Boy, that's the truth.
Well, thank you very much for being our guest.
Yeah. Yes, they get paid, don't
Here's
they?
5 cents for the
Thanks a
newspaper
lot.
that you
I'm
brought
going out
us.
and get a copy of the Daily News.
Yeah, thank you very
Guess where
much.
contest, huh?
Yeah, the Guess Where contest.
Guess where, okay.
Alcatraz is not eligible near
Right.
San Quentin, so just forget the whole thing for today, I guess.
We are the Joy Boys of radio. We chase electrons to and fro. We are the Joy Boys of radio. We chase electrons to and fro.
That does it for the Joy Boys of Radio for this Tuesday evening. Very much want to thank our vast radio audience.
Yay!
Very vast, yes, indeed. And, of course, our engineers, Bobby Shenton, Arthur Page.
I'm still going to get this turntable fixed.
And I want to thank my partner, Willard Scott.
I'd like to thank you, Eddie Walker, and we'd like to thank management and thank all of our thousands of friends in Radioland who've made this program possible.
Yes,
Don't
fine.
forget tomorrow, Goon River Anthology, so you'll be listening at 7:05 for an exciting edition of the Joy Boys.
I'll be here.
Bye-bye.
We are the Joy Boys of radio. We chase electrons to and fro. We are the Joy Boys of radio. We chase electrons to and fro.
Doris Day sings With the Wind and the Rain in My Hair tonight on the NBC Radio Network.
WRC, WRC-FM, NBC in Washington. The time, 7:30.